not doing their job, but we definitely have a way of talking to the players that they will understand. So on the relationship with the players, I think it's going to be perfect. Henceforth, definitely we will not hear any controversy about my relationship with the players. So that will be perfect. The money definitely will come. So I'm not quite worried about any, even as much or more than what Pesero was earning. You know, I think what I'm getting, I think is good enough for me at the moment. The moment I add value to what I'm trying to do, I think the money will come. It's going to be, I think the Honorable Minister and the NFF will definitely call me and say, Coach, how much do you want? So for me it's all about work, and add value. So long as the team is going to win, money is going to come, definitely.
Finidi George there during the unveiling at the NFF. Well, welcome you on the show. 360 Sport on Trust TV. I'm Adeni Ajishafe. Well, as it is, the man has been unveiled by the Nigerian Football Federation. It's now for him to begin to roll out his own time concerning that particular team, Super Eagles. A tough one ahead of them. They want to play in the qualifier for the World Cup and also see how they can make it. Well, right now they stand third on the Lord. Starting with that particular story, NFF unveils Finidi George as Super Eagles coach. That's the story we're looking at right now. NFF unveiled Finidi George as Super Eagles coach. As we look at that alongside Olale Peters, good to have you.
Good morning, Adeni. It's my pleasure being here.
Okay, going back to our topic, NFF unveils Finidi George as Super Eagles coach. Looking at that particular story, even though we've seen that Finidi George has been there as an assistant coach and now as a substantive coach of Super Eagles. And yesterday he was unveiled by the Nigerian Football Federation, although his salary was not mentioned. But as it is, the assistants will be paid according to the match they come for. But he will be collecting salary. The main thing right now is that finally the deed has been done.
Okay, officially we now have a Super Eagles coach. We have a coach for our national team in person of Finidi George. And as you rightly said and mentioned, I think this is a good development, and we are having someone that has been rooted. When we are talking about football in Nigeria, in Africa, and even in the world, he played at the highest stage where everybody wants to play. We are talking about the European and the Champions League. He played at the final when he was in Ajax. The World Cup, he represented Nigeria. The Nations Cup, he was there also. Then after that, after all what he has achieved as a player, he came back home also as a coach. He had the certificate, he had the experience, and he has been part and parcel of the Super Eagles coaching crew. He was an assistant to Jose Pizarro before he was let go. So I think it's a very good development. And yes, his salary has not been mentioned, but you know, we media, the press, we have a way of getting information. There is this information we got that his salary, it's 15 million per month, and it's going to be the highest paid indigenous coach ever in the history of Nigeria. The statement is 100% verifiable, but we got it from a very good source from the NFF that is going to be paid 15 million naira per month, and I think that is huge. Then number two, the good thing with the NFF they are doing this time around is they are giving him both the responsibility and authority as regards the assistant that he wants to work with. They did not impose anybody on him. He made the choice, he okayed the choice. So that means if he failed to deliver on his target, we're going to hold him accountable. You can't be paid 15 million naira per month. You can't be given the opportunity to choose whom you want to work with. And at the end of the day, you come back with excuses. Nigeria is not going to listen to that. So I think it's a very good development. But what is most important now is for the NFF and the Ministry of Youth and Sport not to impose players on him. They should also give him that free will to choose any player that he deemed fit that can represent the country. So I think based on this, I think Finidi George is the right man for the job, and for the assistant that he has picked also. To be honest with you, if you look at all the credentials of all the assistants, they have to be there. And most importantly, at least for the first time, we are getting it right this time around, because when we heard the word of assistant coach, we thought they're all coming to assist Finidi George. Every one of them, they have their own designation. They have what they are coming to do. For the first time, you're having a match analyst.
Anyway, let me take it from you there. We'll see how that we'll get to the assistants that have been appointed by Finidi. But right now, we're looking at Finidi himself, how prepared, and you have actually spoken well by saying, let's give him that opportunity to at least let him perform his duties, no interference. The way Aliou Cisse is working with Senegal, the way Rekrake is working with Morocco, let's allow Finidi to also have that chance here and let him work freely.
Apart from allowing him to work freely, we should also give him chance, give him time. It is very, very important, and I'm not praying that we won't qualify for the World Cup next in 2026, but whatever happens, you should still believe that if you are building a process, it takes longer time. You get the point? So our issue shouldn't be, okay, now if Finidi George is there, we are playing against South Africa. God forbid, if you had a draw at Akwa Ibom Stadium, in which we are playing the next month, or we lost the match, Finidi George should be sacked. No. We have to give him that time. We have to be patient with him. We have to trust that process. He signed a contract for 2 years, not for 1 month, not for 2 months. The coaches that you mentioned also, they were given time. They are given the opportunity to prove themselves right or to prove themselves wrong before they can take a decision. But take it from me, if you allow this, Finidi George is going to be a success. We're going to witness, and that success like we witnessed in 2013 when we had Stephen Kechi as the coach of the Super Eagles, and he won the AFCON for us. So apart from all what I've mentioned before, we have to be patient with him and we have to give him time. We have to criticize him constructively, not because of bad belly. We have to criticize him where he's wrong and where he is right.
Okay, talking about Finidi George there, the unveiling was done yesterday. Well, right now, let's also have another view. Joining us from Kaduna right now is Upe Waziri. Waziri, we have our man, the coach has been confirmed finally by the Nigerian Football Federation. Your take on this?
Yeah, good morning, Denny. Thank you for having me again today. Fantastic news and big congratulations to another member of the class of 94, as they are famously called. And I think going on the same route as Stephen Keshi and Samson Siasi have been the third member of the class of 94 that have gotten the opportunity to coach the Super Eagles of Nigeria. I think it's a big achievement for him. It's a big one. And also, I'm happy that when the confirmation came in yesterday for him, and it also came in with the papers that he has permanently left his role as the coach of Enyimba Football Club of Aba. So it also shows that he's completely focusing on the Super Eagles of Nigeria. It's so good to see. And as the guest here in the studio mentioned, the people already have an insight into what he'll probably earn as a salary, which is 15 million naira, which is the highest ever by an indigenous coach, and he places it almost side by side. It's almost the same thing as Jose Peseiro was earning. And he also wanted to touch on. I also want to touch on his assistants. I think the choice of his assistants kind of impressed me because the person who just finished speaking saying it's not just any assistant. It's not like we're gathering guys just come and assist him. Well, for the first time, we have guys who, or for the first time in a long time, we have guys who actually have specifics. They have defined rules. They have exactly what we know they are coming in to do. For example, we have Benjamin James.
Okay,
Waziri, Germany.
Waziri,
he was former.
Waziri, just hold it there. Don't worry.
If you remember, and currently he was working with Kofenai. He was the manager of the under-15 side, and it's my interest to know that he led them to win 10 out of the last 15 under-15 Bundesliga.
Okay, Waziri, Upe, if you can hear us, just hold on. We're coming to that. Let's talk about Finidi first. Let's leave the assistant. We'll see be coming to the assistant. Okay. Let's talk about the sports minister and NFF rallying support for Finidi George, because right now, just like the guest in the studio, Larry Peters actually mentioned that NFF, Nigerians, everyone should actually put hands on deck to make sure this man, Finidi George, have a free hand to operate, be it concerning the picking of players, the issue of how he runs the team, no interference should be allowed. But right now, according to the news we have here, Sports Minister, NFF rally support for Finidi. Starting with you, Waziri, this particular support that they are calling for from Nigerians, I'm sure a lot of people are really hoping that Finidi will be given that free hand to operate. Where do you stand concerning this support?
Yeah, I think it's good. It's a good way to start. Fine way to kick off. He's saying that they are giving him having the support of the Ministry of Sports and the Minister of Sports himself. I think it's a good one, a fine way to start. And first of all, I was very the salary was a very funny part to me, because we know that before now there was this case where there was a dispute between the NFF and the Ministry of Sports, who was supposed to pay the salary of the coach of the Super Eagles. But I think that part has already been thrashed out, and it is now going to be the responsibility of the NFF. But going on support and allowing him to do his job, I think he knows what he's going into. A high-pressure job. The job is going to be very, very, it's not going to be like a walk in the park. It's not going to be a tool in the park. He's coaching the Nigerian Super Eagles, the football national team. Now, this is it. His first assignment will be against South Africa in June, and then 4 days later, he will come up against Benin Republic in a World Cup qualifiers. Now, he has it at the back of his mind that Nigeria didn't qualify for the last World Cup. And we lost that slot to Ghana here in Nigeria, right there in Abuja. And then it brings a lot of pressure, because you know that after what happened for the qualification of the last World Cup, that can't be repeated this time around. So I think that alone is enough pressure on the young manager already, and his boys. So I don't think any external pressure from other guys who will just come and pick this guy, don't pick my guy. And I understand that in every national team in the world, there is always politics. I think even as big as Cristiano Ronaldo is, you want to mention that even in the Portuguese national team, there's politics in picking footballers and all of that. But so I think it's nothing novel as long as national team football comes. But again, I think to a large extent he should be given a free hand to do his job the best possible way he can. Because if you try to interfere, and then it means that you really are not allowing him to express himself the way he should. So I agree with you, Adeni and the guests in the studio. Really, and I'm happy that the Minister of Sport has said that they are giving him his support. That he's giving him his support, and then you also have the NFF also are giving him his support. I'd like him to do his job, and let's see what he'll be able to achieve in the next 1 year, which is the stipulated time for his contract. Thank you so much,
Waziri Upe. Join us from Kaduna there. Before you go, let's quickly talk about the assistant issue now. Before Lawale Peters will actually put a cap on it, let's talk about Finidi picks Amokachi, Barua as assistants. Looking at the list of those assistants now, you know that Daniel Amokachi, the one they call the Bull, he also played the game to the highest level. But right now, let's look at that list of the Finidi George assistants right now. Well, we have assistant coach 1, that's Daniel Amokachi, Benjamin James, assistant coach 2, Olatunji Barua, goalkeeper trainer. He has been with Finidi and Pizarro. Chima Oyeke as fitness trainer. Mehmet Ozog as match analyst. From the way it is, it seems ready to run this team, because Olawale was almost saying Fox time is this match analysis seems to be a different one. Mehmet Ozog. Let's look at this with you, Waziri, briefly. Looking at, you were almost mentioning the assistant then. Now we have them. Let's have you, Waziri.
Yeah, concerning the assistants, yes, as earlier mentioned, I think it's a good one to start. The assistant, I was speaking about Benjamin James. I think he's quite experienced. At least you will not say you're just bringing in somebody who doesn't have any experience at all. I mentioned how he has done very well with the Offenheim under 15 side. So it's good to have him around, and as somebody who has also been involved in football for a long time. And but probably first international team football might be different, but it also means that he gets an opportunity to broaden his own CV in a team like Nigeria. And it's also good to know that he is Nigerian, even though he grew up in Germany. Well, he's Nigerian, and it's a good opportunity for him. And then the second guy now, Onyeka, he's going to be the fitness coach. Born in the Netherlands, I think he has played football at least to a certain degree, and he also works. He has worked. He's not currently. I made some research about him and I found that he's not employed. But again, he has worked with Andy Matkala of Russia. He has worked with Pau of Greece. He has worked with Stuttgart. and Willem in the Netherlands. So he's not somebody who has a poor CV. I think you look at the CV, you know that, okay, he's a rich CV. It's not like he's going to come in and then learn on the job, which is something I'm not really a fan of at all. So it's good that we have somebody like that who is coming in with this level of experience. And of course, as you mentioned, Mohamed Ostuk is going to come in and be the match analyst. Again, another good one. At least we're going to have somebody who will look at position games, how they play, and how they could possibly approach the game, relate to the coach, sit down with the assistant, and then also be able to prepare the team going into this game. And as you mentioned, we have Abidin Barua and Amokachi. It's good to have these guys who are rooted in Nigerian football. Amokachi has been in Nigerian football since the early 90s up to this moment. So I think the team looks like a very, very solid one. And then if you look at in terms of fanfare and acceptance, it's been a while that Nigeria, the Super Eagles have had the coach boom. It seems everybody wants to see work. Everybody wants to see it happen. There is not so much disparity, not so much negativity around his appointment. I know there will always be pockets here and there, but I think this one is different. A majority of at least from the feelers I've gotten, from things I've seen and heard, a lot of people are happy for Finidi and praying that he works. So I hope at the end of the day, it works and he's able to be a success. Because, of course, the success for Finidi George, success for the Super Eagles, and the success for Nigeria at large. Okay, good one, dear. Upe Waziri joining us from Kaduna and giving us his own side of Finidi Unveiling and also the assistance. Well, from Olawale Peters now, as I say, you're going to put the cap on it. This particular list of assistants, quickly, Nigerians are happy to some extent looking at this particular set of, in fact, only Mehmet Ostok is the foreigner, the rest are Nigerians, even though they base abroad.
It's not only the foreigner, and the other four also, they've plied their trade with the Super Eagles in one way or the other. And I know everybody only remembered Barua and Amokachi and Finidi George, but the others also, they've played for Super Eagles. They had about 4 and 3 caps each. So that shows that they are Nigerians and they want the best for the country. However, there's an important issue that we don't need to ignore here. And what are we talking about here? We are talking about the NFF and the Ministry of Youth and Sport.
Sport development.
Sport development that they really want to support. Now, when it comes to the issue of getting the player released as and when due, I think this is very, very important. Finidi George, he made mention of having a good relationship with the so-called professional footballers. So how can you have a very good relationship with them? It's when you are taking good care of their welfare. Taking good care of their welfare is not in terms of giving them money, putting them in 5-10-star hotel. They can do that 100%. Now, taking care of them in terms of injury, this is very, very important, and that is why the issue of the match fitness comes in here. The match fitness coach should be able to adapt. Look at the style that is suitable for each training that they are doing, because most of the injuries that most of these players normally have, they have it during the training. And no club will be very happy when you're about to start a season and in the course of the qualifiers, you sustain injury. Even for their career, it is not good also. So I think the match fitness coach has a lot of work to do here. Then also on the issue of the match analyst that I spoke about earlier, I think that's the first time we are getting it right. Unlike before, all the assistant coaches that we have, you'll see all of them sitting down behind the coach. We need the goal. We need to consolidate on what we have, but nobody will really read the game. What do we need? Our opponents, what style are they really playing? What pattern are they really playing?
What happened to us at AFCON final?
Not only in AFCON final, even against Ghana here in Abuja. We sat very close to where the bench were, and we saw all of them. They were convinced just walking left, right, and center.
What really actually went wrong?
So that is very, very, very important. So, in fact, to me, the match analyst is even more important than the assistant coach 1 and 2. That's the truth. So I think we are getting it right. However, the NFF and the Minister of Youth and Sport Development, they should match their words with action. Not only coming on here saying that they'll give them the support, they'll give them the necessary. No, they should make sure that we get the necessary details ready. That's one. Then number 2, and I'm not going to be part of those that will put pressure on Finidi George. That is a must for us to qualify for the World Cup. I'll say this and I'll say it over and over again. If you ask me to choose between the World Cup and the AFCON, I'll choose AFCON over the World Cup, because even if you get to the World Cup, we all know we have a limit, we have a boundary. So if all our focus, attention is getting to the World Cup, going there to do what? To mark register? No, we're not ripe for that. We need to have a team. We need to have a style. We need to have a pattern. We need to consolidate ourselves first before I'm not saying we shouldn't qualify, but to me, if you have to choose the priority, I think AFCON should take the priority than the World Cup qualifiers. Whatever the situation is, I know if you need the judge, he has what it takes. The boys, they are committed, they are dedicated. We've seen what they've shown, what they can do. So qualifying us for the World Cup will not be an issue. But we should not put that too much pressure on the coach that just came in like yesterday. That is a must for us to win the match against South Africa, against Benin Republic. So that's my take on that.
Well, Lale Peters talking about Finidi George there, and also Upe Waziri. We want to appreciate your time. Join us from Kaduna concerning this situation that has to do with Super Eagles. Thank you so much, Upe Waziri. Okay, right now we just have to take the last straw on the show that has to do with Monday result. It was a big one yesterday between Aston Villa and Liverpool. Let's look at the result of those games played yesterday. Also in Spain, Barcelona defeated Real Sociedad 2-0. Lecce against Udinese ended 2-0 in favor of visiting team Udinese. Fiorentina 2, Monza 1. For Aston Villa, Liverpool, it ended 3-3. Well, big one yesterday. Well, right now, if you look at how the table is after that particular match was played, I'm talking about the Premier League table right now, as we are actually talking about this now. We look at Arsenal, Man City, well, Liverpool, that draw, they got 79, and Aston Villa also had one, 68. It's getting so tough in the Premier League.
Yeah, it is, and this is the first time that we'll have it. We'll not know who will be the winner of the PL, or who is going to qualify for either the Champions League or the Europa Cup, even the Conference League, until the last day. So that's the truth. And I recall yesterday I was having a conversation with some of my friends and colleagues also, including our... It's going to be very interesting to see what happens. But I think I'm happy for Aston Villa because they've been playing very good and fantastic football since the beginning.
They defeated Arsenal, and they almost fought hard against Liverpool. Well, they share this point there, having 1-0 draw. And when it comes to point sharing now, but 3-3 in goal thriller there. Well, Olawale Peters has been with us in the studio talking sport. We talked about Finidi, and now you say they should give him chance to operate and also give him time. So, well, Waziri Peter, rather, mixing the name together anyway. Upe Waziri joined us from Kaduna, also mentioned his own view concerning Finidi George, expectations from Nigeria, and also we hope that he will do us proud concerning this, our national team, Super Eagles there. Olawale Peters, thank you so much. After all, issue of Arsenal chess doesn't come today. That's 1-0 I got you there.
Don't worry, let's see what happens.
Unexpectedly. That was a confirmed 1-0.
You got it.
Oh my goodness.
We have a way of retaliating. Retaliate.
I love the fact that I actually caught you unawares. Well, we just have to wrap it up there. I'm Martini Ajisha for Sport, is fitness and business. Thanks for watching.